Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Sylvia. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute wrap top with puff sleeves. If that is something you're interested in learning how to make, keep on watching. So first off, we're going to begin by drafting the pattern. We want to take the length of the blouse. For me the length was 16 inches, so I went ahead to mark 16 inches. After marking out the length, we are going to mark out the shoulder. Mine is 15 inches divided by 2 give us 7.5. Then we take the armhole measurement. Mine was 8. You want to locate the middle, which is 4, and come in by half an inch, which is 7. Then want to come down from the shoulder with half an inch, and then mark out 3 inches width and 1 inch depth for the back neckline. We want to connect that with a curve, and then connect the neckline to the shoulder line, and connect the shoulder to the armhole with a curved line. Now I want to take the bust measurements. Want to mark out the bust measurements. The bust measurements divided by 4. Here I used 10. Normally my bust measurement divided by 4 is 8.5 inches, but we want the blouse to be a little bit loose. That's why I went ahead to add the extra 1.5 inch. Then you want to go ahead and mark out the waistline. My waist measurement is 6.5 inches, but I took mine 8.5 inches because I want it to also be loose at the waistline as well. So now we're going to cut out our pattern. This is me just labeling the parts of the pattern: the bust, the neckline, the shoulder, armhole, and the waistline. So this is it for the back pattern. Now we're gonna go ahead and draft out the front pattern. You can trace this out and continue making your front pattern, but I went ahead to tape down the middle of the back pattern to fresh pattern paper and extended the pattern, so it's a 2-in-1 pattern, back and front. It would all make sense as we continue to draft out the pattern. Now it's all taped down. We are going to extend from the middle part of the waistline with 8 inches forward and mark that point. So now to take the front neckline, which is the V neckline, we are going to mark 7 inches. Mind you, the deeper the neckline, the more cleavage it reveals. So we're going to go ahead and connect the neckline to the 8 inches we marked out, going upwards with 1.5 inch. Now we're going to cut that out. We want to cut it to the point where the neck starts. At this point, you see what I'm doing here, and take off the remaining piece of pattern paper so we don't ruin the 2-in-1 pattern. So now this is the back pattern, and when you fold it out and fold in, the V part of the neckline is revealed to make the front pattern. So that's it for the bodice. Now we're going to draft out the pattern for the sleeve. My normal sleeve measurement is 22 inches. So I went ahead to mark 22 inches. So I figured that this pattern paper wouldn't be enough to draft out the style that I have in mind for this sleeve. So I went ahead to trace out the armhole curve. For the width of the sleeve, I'm going to be marking 10 inches, so it is wide enough and looks very pretty when it is puffed. So I went ahead to mark 10 inches all the way down to the end of the pattern paper. So I said this pattern paper wouldn't be enough to draft out the length of the sleeve. I will address that in a bit. So I went ahead to cut out this pattern. Now I'm taping extra pattern paper to complete the length of the pattern for this sleeve. The reason why I am extending this pattern, though my sleeve length is 22 inches, is being that the fold for this sleeve is 5 inches long, because at that part where we fold in is where we want to take our elastic through, and adding elastic to the sleeve to reach it will make the sleeve jump up to be shorter than its actual length. So we want to add extra 8 inches, 7 inches to extend the sleeve, and 1 inch for elastic allowance to make it 30 inches altogether. So the sleeve length will then extend by 8 inches than your original measurement. So that's what I'm doing here. This is me just trying to check out the pattern and measurements before I cut out. So since that's out of the way, I'm just cleaning up the pattern. And then I'm going to label the sleeve. So now our sleeve pattern and bodice pattern is ready. So after labeling, just go ahead and cut out the pattern onto your fabric of choice. I cut out the sleeve pattern, adding half an inch sewing allowance at the sides. Then for the back pattern, I added 1 inch folding allowance to the bottom part and half an inch sewing allowance to the side. Same thing goes for the back pattern. I added 1 inch folding allowance to the bottom part and half inch sewing allowance to the side. Now you want to place the fabric with the right sides facing each other and sew along the shoulder line with half an inch. This is what it looks like afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and press it with a steaming iron. So now we're moving on to the sleeve. I went ahead and folded 5 inches upwards and notched that point. So you want to press down along that notch line. That is going to form the new end of the sleeve. That's where the length of the sleeve stops. Now I went ahead to sew 2 lines along the edge of the sleeve to form casing for our elastic. So this is me taking the elastic through the casing with a safety pin. You want to go ahead and pin this side of the elastic in place so it doesn't go back out through the other side of the casing. So now you want to adjust this to the measurement of your wrist. So I'm going to go ahead and take the measurement of my wrist, and it was 7 inches, but I want it to be a little bit loose so I can adjust it, plus the half inch on both sides for sewing allowance, making it 9. So I took 9 inches. Once you are done adjusting to the measurements, you want to pin in place and take it to the sewing machine and stitch the elastic in place. Go ahead and repeat for the other sleeve. To attach the sleeves, you want to find the middle of the sleeve and pin that to the middle of the shoulder. Go ahead and pin the 2 edges of the sleeve to the 2 edges of the armhole, and I'm just going to pin that inwards towards the direction of the shoulder. For this remaining fabric, this excess fabric, 2 inches away from the shoulder line, we are going to gather this in place to create a puff at the shoulder. So we are going to do 2 inches to the other part as well from the shoulder line. We're going to go ahead and sew, then gather this excess to the 4 inches altogether. After sewing, you would have created this puff at the top of the shoulder. As you can see here, it's looking so nice. So you want to go ahead and double fold around the neckline. You want to double fold. After sewing, this is what it looks like. Now I want to go ahead and sew the side seams together using 1/2 inch. After sewing, this is what it looks like. I want to go ahead and double fold the down part of the wrap top. You want to double fold and sew along the down part of this top. After sewing, you want to give it a very good press. All the sides, the neckline, the down part, you want to give it a really good press. After pressing, we want to go ahead and attach belts to the front part of the wrap top. So for the belt, we are going to fold our fabric into two of 30 inches by 5 inches, 30 inches length by 5 inches width. We're going to go ahead and fold the fabric into two and check if it's accurate. So we have 2.5 inches all the way, so we're just going to even up the sides, the edges. For those uneven parts, we're going to trim them off. And then we're going to cut this triangle shape at the end. So now we have 5 inches by 30 inches. So we're going to go ahead and fold the right sides together facing each other and sew 1/4 inch around. After sewing, want to bring out the belt. So this is me just turning it out with a pair of scissors. After pushing it out, you want to go ahead and iron it flat. So go ahead and press till it's nice and flat. Now you want to attach. So now you want to go ahead and attach the belt to the front part of the blouse. So after attaching it, you want to stitch it down to give it this nice clean finish. And that's it for this tutorial, guys. This was the end result. This was how it was looking so pretty. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment what tutorial you'd like to see next. Until next time, bye guys.